I'm about to go on a multi-day ski touring trip to the Ekran National Park. Hopefully there'll be some multi-night winter room type ski touring. So I thought I'd go through what I've got in my bag and why I'm taking what I'm taking with me. Kit's very personal. There are lots of ways to get to the same goal of being safe and comfortable, but this is just how I do it. So starting from right now, I've not got my ski boots on, but so I've got 2-piece Leki Guide 2 poles, just a good adjustable ski touring pole, nice basket shape for going uphill. The only modification I made to these is I like to hold my poles in all different places when I'm hiking along, and I found the shafts a bit thin to be comfortable, so I just went to Decathlon and got some handlebar tape and made the top of the shafts a bit fatter. Just looking at the front of me here, I've got my gloves. So I've actually got 4 pairs of gloves with me, which we'll talk about in a bit, but these are the 2 that I wear mostly. So when I'm not wearing them, I always keep them clipped to me somewhere really handy, because I hate it when your hands are a bit cold but you can't be bothered to sort your gloves out. So I can sort of clip them wherever I want, really. These are, the outers are Hestra Nords, but which come with quite a coarse wool liner, which I didn't like. So inside I've got some Black Diamond mid-weight power stretch liners. Just about every company makes a glove like that. It's got a touch screen, a little bit reinforcement on the palm. So quite often, so if I'm just skinning uphill, I will just wear these and they seem just fine. And for skiing down, I just pop these leather over gloves over the top. Okay, so that's my basic glove system. In here, I've got a pair of silk liner gloves, also made by Hestra. So, and I can wear those inside the power stretch liners, or I can wear all 3. And that's like a full winter glove, really. So they're nice, and I always keep them. They're also great if you're in a cold hut, just for chucking on to keep your hands warm. So I keep those there. While I'm on this little pocket, I've got my lip salve. I've got a buff, so I can put it around my neck, make it into a bit more of a hat, whatever. And I've got my compass. On this side, I've got, actually that's just a little pair of flat black glasses, because I'm getting old, can't see properly. And then here I've got, this is a telephone. It's not actually my telephone. This is another phone that I use, just doesn't have a SIM card in it, so I just use it just for GPS and mapping software. It's like a military spec phone. It's got a really big battery, lasts for days. It's completely waterproof, really strong. And I can also use it as a battery. You can use it to charge something else. So that's what I use. And then I keep my phone turned off in my backpack, fully charged for emergency use. So I've got 2 redundant GPS systems. Both have offline maps in them and the route saved where I think I'm going. And so they're completely redundant with each other. Okay, and so that's in there just for route finding. And I'll just keep my glasses in there too. Okay, on this side here, I've got my Harscheisen. So when I'm skinning uphill, I really like to have my Harscheisen totally handy, because like most people, I'm in a habit of putting them on too late. And then when you do need to put them on, the snow's hard, slippery. You don't want to be messing around trying to get your pack off, that sort of thing. So normally I keep one clipped to either side of me so they don't clank about, and then I can just get them off and put them on my skis when I need them. But when I'm carrying my skis in this configuration, then I put them both on one side. I keep them on little carabiners and I just clip them onto the arm straps and they drop down there. So that's everything. Okay, and I've got my skis here. So I'll just take the hook off, which is easier said than done sometimes. Okay, so these are my skis. So for me, these are Black Diamond Helio Carbons with 80K bindings on them. Big thanks to Phil and Backcountry UK for sorting those out for me. Great skis. You know, we're not here to talk about skis, but I love those. Oh, might as well talk about my helmet. So my helmet, this is a Mammoth Haute Route helmet, which is a sort of multi-certificated climbing helmet, ski touring and skiing, but great all-round helmet, really comfortable. I went for a white top, hopefully make it a bit cooler to wear. Okay, backpack is a blue Ice Firecrest 38, which is a great backpack. I've had it for a few years. It's the original version, and I absolutely love it for a ski touring bag. I think it's a totally great blend of weight and features. You can get lighter backpacks for sure, but I find on multi-day tours, the lack of some of the features begins to get quite tiresome, and it's, you know, you do need a bit of organisation just for, but there's a right line for how much you want. So that's my pack, and we'll go through what's in that now. Okay, on the back of my backpack, I've got a Blue Ice Bluebird ice axe, which I think is 60 centimeters. But I don't carry a super light ski touring or race skimo type ice axe. I actually carry a very traditional 60 centimeter ice axe. And the reason being is that in the past, when I've actually come to needing an axe, and I've had something that's a bit lighter and, you know, a bit harder to hold on to, not as much weight in it, I felt profoundly, you know, upset, and that when I really need some security, I don't have it. So one thing I don't compromise on is my axe. On this side on the backpack, there's a sort of insecure net pocket. Okay, and in here I have got a helmet liner, and I've got a little like amount of equipment sun visor, which you can wear under your helmet, and it is great on really sunny days. And finally in here is my fourth pair of gloves, okay, which are actually clipped on because I don't want to lose these. Okay, these are shell over mitts, and when it really comes to it, that can go over the top of all of my other gloves and provide a proper storm barrier should I need one, for very, very lightweight. A top pocket of my backpack, which is reserved for things that I think I'll need handy during the day. I've got, the first thing that comes out is this, which is a quick draw, 30 centimeter quick draw made with a Blue Ice Alpine Runner. So this is a handy thing to have either for a little bit of quick security for yourself. Sometimes I use it to clip my backpack to things when I'm on a steep slope, and you know, there's somewhere to do that. So I just keep that in there. That's quite a handy thing to have. I've got my sunglasses in a nice semi-rigid case. Sun cream. A little kit for my skins. So in here is just a little bit of microfiber towel, some wax, and a cut up bit of wax scraper. I'll keep that in there. Is there anything else in here? Yes. So the last thing I've got in here is another bit of hardware. I've got mixed pair of prussiks. I think these are 4 and 5 or 5 and 6. 5 and 6, I think, because I've got 2 different ropes, a thin one and a fat one. So for doing prussiks, I've got a petzl attached. This is called a round bar. So this has a completely round section at the top rather than I-beam, which makes it really nice for doing Italian hitches on. And I've got I think it's a 50 centimeter quick draw on here. And I use that for extending my belay device. Okay, so inside at the top here, the Firecrest has a little security pocket like a lot of backpacks do. In here I keep my other telephone, so my backup phone, all charged, and I also have a Garmin Messenger, which is sort of like a Garmin InReach. Top of my pack, first thing I've got is a Petzl radline. So this is a 60-meter radline. We're going to the Ekran, which has got some quite interesting terrain. You never know what you're going to get, and so we elect to carry a 60-meter. It comes in 30 and 60-meter lengths. Most people carry a 30 for crevasse rescue, but we find a 60 a little bit more handy. You can do a 30-meter retrieval lab sail, which is pretty nice. Going down here, next thing I've got is my shell jacket. This is an Arc'teryx Alpha lightweight, something like that. Really nice Gore-Tex, 220 gram, very simple Gore-Tex jacket, but perfect for ski touring. Then I've got the rest of my crevasse rescue kit here. I've got a 21 centimeter blue ice screw, the Aerolite. Amazingly light ice screw, really, really nicely made. I've got a super light screw gate, 5 meters of 5 mil tat. Always comes in handy. I've got a DMM revolver, part of my crevasse rescue kit. I've got a Petzl traction, also micro traction, part of my crevasse rescue kit on one of these double wire gate carabiners, and a 120 meter sling. Then I've got crampons. I might keep, these are near the top, depending on what I thought. I might put them right at the very top. These actually are Blue Ice called Harfang Tours. These are the full aluminium ones. So they are very nice and very shiny and new crampons. So only for ski touring boots, stepping at the back, wire bail at the front. Moving down, I've got my harness. So this is a Tukas, Blue Ice Tukas. This is another thing I'm thinking about changing. Is previously I would have just put my harness on when I thought I needed it. The system I'm going to go for this time is if I think I'm going to put it on that day, I'm going to put it on before I leave the hut. And I'm just going to wear it all the time because it really doesn't impede me in any way whatsoever. It also gives me a couple of other places to hang my harsh eisen from. So I'm thinking about I'm just going to wear it all the time. And if I don't think I'm going to need it that day, I won't wear it, but I'll keep it near the top of my bag. So my Tukas harness. My big in here is my duvet jacket. So this nice lightweight stuff sack, dry bag, another one. Okay, and this is a mountain equipment Cryos down jacket. Okay, bear in mind this is a winter tour, so we're staying in winter rooms that have no heating, we're melting snow for food, eating dehydrated rations, so there's nowhere to throw your kit, it's not warm at night, so a lot of the decisions I've made I've erred on the side of warmth. So I do have a lighter down jacket, a Patagonia one, which is like half the way to this one, which I might take if I was staying in a catered hut a bit later in the year. But definitely this one for this time of year. I really ummed and ahed between this one and the Rab Mythic Ultra. Very similar jackets, similar costs. The Rab Mythic Ultra is probably 80 grams lighter and has a bit more down in it. So in a static sort of sheltered environment, it's a warmer jacket, and it has a warmer weight ratio as well. The reason I ultimately went for the mountain equipment one is that when you're not in a sheltered environment, so when things have gone a bit wrong and you've ended up in your down jacket out on the hill somewhere, the fact that it's got a membrane outer, slightly less down, but achieves a very similar warmth from a membrane outer, I thought gives it the edge in an all-round mountaineering situation. But, read online, there's lots of people who have been through this same dilemma. They're both great jackets. They both serve you really well. I just went for this one. Okay, so that is my down jacket. Okay, further on down. So the Blue Ice has a side zip, okay, which when your bag's really full is not the most useful thing in the whole world. But what I do keep against the side zip is my water. So in this case, I've got a 300 milliliter flask and a 500 milliliter water bottle. That's what I'm carrying, both those full when I leave the hut. Not an enormous amount of fluids, but then I'm not willing to carry any more. So that's going to be, well, whatever temperature that's going to be. But what I will say is if you've got 300 ml of very hot water, what you've actually got is 600 ml of cold water. So if every time you want a little drink and you're not cold, because obviously if you are cold, you'll just drink the hot fluid from the flask, put half of it in there and then fill it up with snow. It melts the snow, fills the cup up, so you get twice as much for the same amount of carry. Okay, and now I always keep my flask next to the side zip so I can get it out when I'm going along. Just so I can get these out. So now I could get these from the top, but down the side I've got so that's the handle of a Mammut Alligator Ultra, the lightest shovel they make, telescopic handle. And this is a Camp Carbon 240 probe, the last bit of kit I've got from my Skimo racing days, but a really, really nice lightweight probe. Okay, that, and then that's the blade of my Alligator Ultra. I've got another dry bag of clothes here. These are clothes for the hut. So I have got one spare pair of socks, not ski socks, just small socks, because they're what I wear overnight. Okay, I've got a pair of Rab Mythic down shorts. Okay, so even though we're winter rooming, and winter roomings, I don't think I've ever been to one that doesn't have blankets. I don't think so. But a lot of people elect to carry a small sleeping bag when they go winter rooming, which is not a bad idea. But essentially, I've got a full down suit. I've got nice long, super warm shorts that have got a Primaloft bum, but really nice warm shorts, and I've got a really big heavy down jacket. So, you know, I'm carrying a sleeping bag just like that. I can put my shorts on during the day if I was absolutely Baltic, and you can sleep in that. So that's my system. So I don't carry a sleeping bag. I do carry a silk liner bag. Finally, the only other spare clothing I carry is a spare base layer. This one is a mountain equipment one. Down to the last few bits and pieces now. Oh, I have got some other stuff. These are a bit of an optional extra. Down hut slippers. This is my stove. This is a very old titanium jet boil. God, it must be 15 years old, this stove at least. It's done a whole bunch of ohms. So it's been on fire for some reason. I'm not quite sure what happened there. I've lost the lid, and I've lost the thing. So basically, to protect the fins when I'm carrying it, I've got this bottom of an old yogurt pot, and actually, which works really well as a lid when I'm boiling water. The cozy I've got down to just enough for me to grip it like that. Okay, and that's the burner unit, which has seen better days. But, you know, all you're doing is heating water to eat dehydrated meals, so absolutely fine, all of that. I haven't got any gas in my bag right now, or any food. Moving on, what have we got now? Oh, this is my bag of bits and pieces. Long aluminium spoon, it's a Sea to Summit one for eating my ration packs. A 10,000 milliamp hour battery. Things. I've got some hydration tablets. I find those great for staving off cramp. That's my lighter and a bit of duct tape for lighting the stove. A Leatherman, the lightweight Leatherman, which is mainly used for cutting up dried sausage, has to be said, but if I need to repair anything, I'll need that. Which brings me down to this, which is my ski touring repair kit. Now, I carried this around for years and never used any of it. And then last year, somebody's heel piece broke way up a mountain. It would have been like at least 1,000 meters of walk, desperate one leg skiing to get down. But we managed to use the wire in this kit to basically bind their heel to the sort of bit of the heel piece that was left, which was still screwed to the ski. So they had no release, but they could ski properly. So being careful, that saved us hours and hours of walking and potential disaster. So I do carry a little spare kit. This is what's in it. It's not much, but it's all you need really. I've got a few cable ties, which combined with my big black diamond ski strap thing, is amazing what you can fix with that. I've got some wire, some sort of quite bendable thin wire, but you do multiple wraps, you can repair quite a lot with that. I've got this kind of bit holder that goes on the front of my Leatherman, and then a big fat bit, which is obviously the one that fits my bindings. Okay, it's not, when you've got a multi-tool, you have to make sure, because the thing about multi-tools is the shape of them makes them quite awkward to use sometimes. And on ski bindings, there's often little screws that are kind of up recesses and stuff. So play around with what you're going to use and make sure you can get to every screw that you might need to adjust when you're out on your tour. So that's why I have this little bit extender on the front to make sure that I can fit in everything. I've got, these are little glue patches that people can use to stick to repair their glue. And this is cleaner. It's glue cleaner. So just a bit of glue maintenance and stuff that I can fix. Yeah, but there's one more bit that goes along with it, which I must have dropped. Here it is. I've got some very strong thread and a couple of sailmaker's needles. So if someone's strap comes off their backpack or something splits, you can have a bit of a go at sewing it up. All in all, doesn't weigh very much, keeping that bag, so that's handy stuff to have. I've got emergency first aid kit. There's not much in between in my experience. People are either basically fine and they just need a little bit of maintenance and everything keep going, or we're not going anywhere, we need to hunker down and call for help. So my kit is definitely aimed at that. And last and definitely least are my lightweight waterproof trousers. Okay, these are Mountain Equipment dry light ones. I hardly ever wear them. So they really are, just because I feel it's irresponsible to leave home without some waterproof legwear. But they live at the bottom of my bag and they pretty much always stay there. Okay, so finally now we'll talk about what I've got on me right now. Okay, so that's all the stuff that I was carrying or sort of wearing, and I've finally come down to the clothes that I wear all the time. So this top jacket is what I would wear if I was ski touring, if I was climbing up in cold, windy conditions, cloudy, not warm enough to just skin in a base layer, and also for skiing down in nice conditions where you didn't feel you needed a jacket. So it is the Mammut Nordwand Flex Air, I think it's a jacket that has a variation of Polartec Alpha on the inside. I don't think this is Alpha, it's something else, but it's something very, very similar. So it's got thin Alpha style fleece on the outside and a sort of semi-windproof outer, and sort of more breathable. There's a little fleece panels there and the fleece panels down the side, so a little bit more moisture out. They're really, really versatile. You find you can just keep them on most of the time. So this is a really nice one. This one's so it's got double Napoleons, no lower pockets. It's Pertex Quantum Air is what it is on the outside, and it's got a hood. So if I'm going up and I'm big, and it's got quite a reasonable hood with an adjustment on it as well. So sometimes you find you can't, the hoods are too big and baggy, but this one's actually got hood adjusters on it. So that's pretty good, and I wear that a lot. Okay, under that, these tops really took off last summer. It's basically a lightweight hooded base layer, which slightly looser cut depending on the brand you go for, which is sold as a sun top. But they're, you know, it's a performance fabric, so they work equally well as base layers. So I wear this because when you're toiling up a big slope in the afternoon sun, the sun's behind you, sometimes it's really nice just to keep the sun off the back of your head, and you can put the hood up, or you can put the hood up and you can put a hat on or a buff on, and actually it makes your hat thicker. So I find a hooded base layer which a sun top is really, really nice, and they're great for multi-pitch climbing as well. So it's a really versatile garment, but it's essentially just a long sleeve base layer. So I wear those, and then underneath I've actually got this sort of modern take on a string vest. So it's just a vest. This one is a craft base layer, like a cycling brand, but I just wear that because I find it just keeps the sort of string vest effect, just keeps all the fabric from being on your skin, which makes you really comfortable all day. My leg wear, these are Mammut Taste Pro non-membraned soft shell pants. So they're about 600 grams. They're totally designed for ski touring. They've got braces and Velcro adjusters, so you can get them just to stay up. Little pockets there. I never really keep anything in those. This is the transceiver thigh pocket. So it's got that's where it's marked an orange zip. It's got a lanyard clip inside it, and inside is my transceiver, which is a Peeps Mini IPS. This is basically the smallest, nicest, roundest shaped transceiver, I think. Fits so well in my pocket. It's right there when I want to use it. Just never think about it. So that just goes in there. And if you think back when I had my backpack on, my transceiver's here and my phone is here. So, I've got as much separation as I can there. It's still not ideal, but, I've got to use my phone to navigate. And, there is a chance I can be all crumpled up in an avalanche. They'd be a bit too close together, but at least they're not there and there sort of thing. Okay, so I've got my transceiver there. These trousers have sort of vents in the side and reinforcement and some volume adjusters to go around your ski boots, and a gaiter on the inside. So sort of classic general mountaineering soft shell pant, but definitely aimed at ski touring, these ones. Good wool socks. That's everything. So I hope that's a bit of food for thought. There are alternatives to all of this stuff, and lots of people do it in different ways, but that's how I do it. Okay, thanks for watching.